One of the other examples of SoundCloud artists getting big within the industry is surprisingly not only a SoundCloud artist and someone within the music industry, but he is also a YouTuber, or used to be a YouTuber. Yes, I am talking about Joji. Highly praised within his music career, Joji is a singer, songwriter, producer, businessman, internet icon, viral sensation, and artist. Joji began posting on SoundCloud around early 2016, but truly started his career in both music and comedy as far back as 2011. Under his multiple YouTube channels, he would consistently release comedy skits as well as comedy songs back to back for the better half of a decade. Whenever he would release a new YouTube video, a song under the artist name Pink Guy would soon follow. This was his way of gaining exposure to artists and labels while still being consistent with his hustle. His comedy hustle. However, he always wanted to pursue music first over comedy. So seeing him slowly deviate from Filthy Frank, soon abandoning the channel, and evolving into the Joji that we all know and love today feels like closure. And that's coming from the perspective of a Filthy Frank fan and a Joji fan. Joji is one of the few artists that inspired me to potentially pursue a career in music. With his latest album being over 2 years old, the question remains, where is Joji? To put it bluntly, Joji made 2022 his year, releasing his Smithereens album, releasing Glimpse of Us, which went on to break a series of musical records, making a hit song from 2 years ago more popular than the hit song you made about 5 or 6 years ago is crazy. Despite breaking records, a lot of people were still upset about the album. Short 9-track album that didn't really have a lot to offer, both sound-wise and creatively. It kind of just sounded like B-sides of not only his Nectar album, but also his Ballads 1 album. The only two songs that I could really go back and listen to from the Smithereens album, Knight Rider and Yukon, which are the only two songs that are actually written by Joji. Yeah, he used ghostwriters for this album. That sucks. Every single track on the Smithereens album, with the exception of, like I said, Yukon and Knight Rider, are written by other ghostwriters that I assume were either given to Joji or Joji hired. What's even worse is that some of his more popular tracks off the album, like Glimpse of Us and Die For You, don't even credit him as a writer. They credit him as the performer of the track, yes, but not as a legit writer. But ultimately, Joji album is Joji album. While I don't expect him to release another album within the next year or so, it's nice to see him still performing live. With the release of his final album to date being Smithereens, a lot of people were left wondering where Joji was during all of 2023. Well, you see, that's because he was too busy with this. Joji's Pandemonium World Tour took everyone by storm and was basically that, a world tour, starting in North America and then going over to New Zealand and Australia being where he's from. Not only did this concert have an amazing set list, it also had the most output and is one of the few concerts that I wish I went to. I'm not gonna lie when I say that this is probably Joji's best performance in his entire career. No, I'm actually getting hyped up because you know how he was moving?
Most definitely.
This portion of Joji's career. How did I end up in this spot? Reddit user visual_lab6430 labels Plum Corp as this. Joji owns Plum Corp. Plum Corp is a recording label, subsidiary label, audiovisual label, concert visuals label, clothing brand, publishing studio, and his content creation studio. Joji owns that LLC to file trademarks for everything created by him and related to him. For example, he has trademarked Filthy Frank, Pink Guy, Salamander Man, all the stuff that he did back in 2013. Plum Corp Audiovisual got like a hold of this and now it's theirs. Joji uses Plum Corp as his own recording studio, record label, audiovisual studio for concerts and tours, music video recording studio, content creation on YouTube, and for merchandise. It's literally just his own business, and this is actually a much greater business than I thought it was. I thought it was at a more like low-key kind of it being in his own lane.
I'm nice with it. Ha ha!
Videos like these ended up resurfacing and becoming very popular over the course of like only about a year or so. People started connecting the dots and they were like, oh, okay, Joji owns Plum Corp. Working on his Plum Corp business venture and going on tour ended up being the two things that Joji would be up to throughout the 2024 year. He still posts on YouTube and he still has a consistent merch rollout, about as consistent as the tours that he's been on, considering he did one tour in the summer and just got done with one, I think in the fall time. I honestly could be wrong. I just could be so wrong. And that pretty much wraps up what Joji's been up to for the past 2 years. Granted, he's not making any new music. I'm not really too bothered by that. He's still performing live and obviously still has his own stuff, but above all else, he's just living life. Living life how we live life, honestly. Honestly, how I'd live life if I was in Joji's place. While I initially planned for Joji to be one of my talking points within my SoundCloud video essay, I think he actually serves best in his own video. Whatever Joji plans to do in the years to come, I hope that he does so because he wants to, and only if he wants to.